Trump the next Richard Nixon? Let's talk about it. During the Nixon administration, there was something known as the Saturday Night Massacre. So Nixon was being investigated into the events that eventually caused his resignation during Watergate, and he wanted the prosecutor fired. The prosecutor was a man named Archibald Cox, and Nixon ordered the Attorney General, Elliot Richardson, to fire him so that he would not carry out the subpoenas. Elliot Richardson refused, and he resigned. Next person in line was William Ruckelshaus. Nixon ordered him to fire Cox. He refused. Then, the third most senior official was Robert Bork. And rather than show a backbone like the first two attorney generals, Robert Bork did fire Cox. This would come back to haunt Bork, because when Robert Bork was nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court, they brought up the fact that he was spineless and backed Richard Nixon in this lawless maneuver, and he was not given a Supreme Court seat. And Robert Bork was a very respected jurist. If you studied antitrust law in law school, you would have used the textbook that I used, which is Posner and Easterbrook, or one of the common ones is the book on antitrust law written by Robert Bork. So he was one of the authorities in the U.S., preeminent authorities on antitrust law, very well respected. This action that he took tainted him forever and kept him from being on the Supreme Court because he showed no backbone. Nixon eventually did resign when everything came to light, so this was just a temporary move. So what's going on in New York? You've got not one, not two, not three like under Nixon, not four, not five, not six, but 7 prosecutors resigning over what is going on with the corrupt mayor, Eric Adams. So Eric Adams had been arrested and charged with corruption in New York City, one of the most corrupt mayors the U.S. has ever had, and certainly the most corrupt that New York has ever had. And it appears that the charges were dropped in exchange for his agreeing to allow ICE to do raids and cooperate with them, whereas before the city was not cooperating them. So what is the problem with this? The problem is that if you're going to prosecute somebody, you prosecute them. And if you want to cut a plea deal, I'm charging you with 10 things. If you plead to 7, we'll drop the other 3. That's fine. If you want to prosecute him and say, I am prosecuting you, but if you testify against your co-conspirators, will give you a deal, that's fine as well. What you cannot do is give them something or offer them something in exchange for dropping the case. So if this was a year ago and Trump had said, hey, if you endorse me for president, then when I get elected, I will drop this case, that would be a crime. And this, what he's doing, is a crime as well, in my opinion. So if you said, I am going to drop this case in exchange for you doing this for me, which you weren't going to do before, which has absolutely nothing to do with your case, but it benefits me, then that is why these people are resigning. So it doesn't matter whether what he did for Donald Trump is endorse him for president. It didn't matter if what he did was hand him an envelope full of cash. It didn't matter if what he did is agree to reverse his stance and allow New York City police to cooperate with ICE. What he did is do something, nothing to do with the case, which benefits the current administration in exchange for dropping the charges. So that is why, unlike in the Nixon case where you had 2 attorney generals resign and then the third showed no backbone, in this you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 prosecutors resign, and they still can't find one who's spineless enough to drop the case. So it was reported by the news that the case would be dropped, but the prosecutor Sassoon showed incredible backbone and said, I'm not doing that. And it looks like they keep going further down the totem pole and trying somebody else to officially drop this case, but no one's willing to do it because as an attorney, you have an ethical duty to uphold the law. And if an attorney participated in this and I was in that office, I would feel no hesitation to report them to the New York State Bar so that they can be debarred like other Trump attorneys like Rudy Giuliani and his personal attorney. I forget who was involved in the case with the stripper and the payments and all that stuff. So several of his attorneys have been disbarred, and if you are in the New York prosecutor's office, the Southern District of New York in the Justice Department, and you are thinking of doing this, you will probably be disbarred as well. So that's my thoughts on this. No more for today. Have a great day. Happy Valentine's Day.